dames are back again. Two blonde, two hairdressers. We got so much in common here. This is our third episode, and we're going to talk about financial independence and what to do with the credit cards and how to establish credit and not to abuse credit card, whatever. She's going to give you all the information here with Miss Nicola. Okay, Miss Dame Nicola, let's go. Tell us a little bit about it. I can hear you.
All right, we're here and we're on our third episode, and hopefully by now you've already assessed and you've allocated, and now you started to automate, and you know now where you're trying to go. You've decided on your goals and you're realizing, okay, I either need more income, and I also, so you can decide, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna start a side hustle? Are you going to learn about maybe other businesses that are turnkey? Maybe network marketing might be an opportunity for you, or, just think about another stream of income. You can start a blog, you can start something that can bring you in extra money so that now you can say, I'm ready to start making smart purchases so I can start building my money like all these other people.
Dame Nicola, I'll tell you a little bit about one of my African-American lady that I was supporting. She always said she don't have enough money.
Yes.
She don't have money. She was working as a manicurist and she was not doing well as a manicurist. I said, look, you are a good cook and you make good brownies.
Yes. You can sell plates. You can, whatever it is you know how to do. Exactly. And how you figure that out is something that you already like to do. Most likely you're doing something that you love to do regularly that you can get somebody to pay you for it.
Exactly.
And it's so important for you to know that. I don't ever want you to think that you have nothing to offer. In this country, in this world, people just exchange money for value, something that they want. So just like what Dame Munni just said, somebody who knows how to cook, who doesn't like to eat, right? People are willing to pay for that. You might say, well, right now I can't go to the salon to make money. Well, I know people who may have a select group of people, and they may be allowing, of course, with all of the protective gear, whatever, and they're going into someone's home. There are always ways for you to increase your income, but then now you have to learn about something with money, and the word is called leverage. That's how you can do more with less. And so you say, well, how can I do more with less? Well, you're doing it all the time. Like if you're working a job, someone owns the company and they said, I can do more work by hiring more people and I'm gonna leverage the labor of other people. Well, what about for you? How is it that you can maybe do more with less with your money? It's something called credit. Now, I'm gonna tell you this. It has been misused for so long because no one ever was really taught about it. It's nothing that you're taught in school. Financial literacy is not a topic in school. Literally, you even go into college and even get degrees, even PhDs, and they may never still talk to you about credit. So don't feel bad that you don't know about it, because it wasn't taught to anyone in school. So if your parents didn't talk about it, or if you're not gonna pay attention to someone like me and Dame Munni brought this to you, then you might have never known. And you probably say, well, the most I know about credit is I did get a credit card. Some people get them in college, and then they didn't tell you that you had to pay the money back. I don't know, that's what happened to me. This is what I want you to know. Credit, if it's used properly, is powerful, especially in America. Because 75% of the economy, that means 3/4, is ran on credit. So if you don't understand it, you're more than likely paying more for everything. Credit affects not only when you're trying to go make purchases, it affects your everyday life. Like me, we talked earlier about those cell phones. If you don't have a great credit score, you're gonna pay more. Money down, that's money out go, right? Remember we talked about that? Money out go. If now you have not a great credit score, you got to put down payments on your utilities when you move. That's money outgo, right? Remember that budget? Okay. If you don't have good credit, then now, even when you're renting, they're looking for bigger deposits. That's money outgo. So remember how this stuff really adds up. So you want to first know what your credit score is. Many people have not even looked at that. They don't monitor it or they don't protect it. But I want you to go to annualcreditreport.com and you can pull your credit score, or creditkarma.com. A great place to start. There are many different scores. I'm not going to go into the depth of that, but at least you get a range of what that number is. And I want you to know that if you don't have a 740 or higher credit score, you're not considered to have good credit. You're paying more interest. And what interest is money on top of whatever you owe. So remember, outgo? See, it's all coming together, right? And so what I want you to think about is that credit is important and you've got to have it. And you've got to work on getting a 740 or higher credit score. So like I said, the first thing you need to do is pull it up. See what your number is. You want to make sure that you know this, because sometimes people's credit is being used by other people and they don't even know about it. That's called identity theft. You don't even know about it because you haven't looked at your credit score. So now, when you get that credit score, you can do more with less money. Because do you know that you could have not as much money, but a high credit score, and now you might be able to be trusted by a bank. Your credit is called your credibility and your capacity. They're saying, look, if you've been paying other people on time, then you might pay me on time. I'll give you a chance. But if you haven't been paying other people on time, we got to correct that. And so there are ways that you can correct your credit. You can restore your credit. There's a law called the Fair Credit Reporting Act and Fair Debt Collection Act that's really in your favor as a consumer. It's in your favor as just a regular everyday person. And so now you get to correct things, that mistakes you've made a while ago. And then when you do this, guess what's going to happen? Remember that budget? Remember we talked about your expenses minus your income? What's left over is going to start increasing, because even your car insurance can be reduced when you increase your credit score. When that credit score goes up.
Nicola, remember we talked about, okay, let's say you have no credit right now, you buy a new credit card, you found a nice blouse on sale for $10, okay? It was $40, you picked it up for $10. Then you keep shopping 5 times, and then at the end of the month, you have a bill for $100. You said, I'll pay 50, I'll pay 50 later. So actually the $10 blouse became maybe $20 blouse or $18 blouse.
Exactly, and even more than that. And even more than that, because credit card interest compounds. Remember we talked about that.
That's right.
So whatever the interest rate is, which is extremely important, because even if they give you the credit card, don't mean it's at a good interest rate. So the lower your credit score is, the more it's going to cost you for that $10 blouse. Someone that has great credit, that $10 blouse might end up being $11. You don't have great credit, it might be $15 for you. And then now that $15 can turn into $30, depending on how long you pay that. So what I want you to first know is credit is not good for things that don't make you money. It's not good. So that's why you want to be very mindful of, if you're going to use a credit card, I'd rather see you use it to invest in the business. Why? Because of the potential of money coming back to you. Very, very seldomly is a blouse going to make money come back to you. So that would be now a way for you to assess and not allocate your credit towards things like that. If you can't pay for it, then you probably don't need it, especially right now. Okay? Be okay with that, because remember where you're trying to go. So now when you get that credit card, it's not for you to run it up with just swiping it at the restaurant, swiping it all these places, because now you're basically going to pay more. If the bill was $20, now you turn it into $30, and guess what? You still are going to have to pay it back regardless, or it's going to decrease your credit score and increase the rest of your bills.
That's
so
right.
I want you to know that credit needs to be used responsibly. You also want to be very careful of when you increase that score, that when you go out to apply for credit, that it's only one person pulling it. So I want to go over with you, there's 5 factors that they determine even what those 3 numbers are for you. It's not only how you pay your bills. That's just one way. That's 35% of your credit score is called your payment history. The other 30% of your credit score is your debt. So you see, if you don't pay on time, that can affect your credit. But then now if you have too much debt relative to the amount of money that they made available to you, what do I mean by that? We talked about the credit card. If they gave you a $300 credit card and you run it up to $300, that 30% of your debt is going to decrease your credit score. You should not be using any more than 30% or less of whatever your limit is. So if it was a $300 card and you use $90, you're in the game. But it's better if you were using $50 or $60. You say, well, why would they give me $300 if I'm only going to use $50 or $60? Because they want to see, do you really understand the use of it?
That's right.
So you want to make sure that now.
Nicola, let's repeat that again. Repeat that sentence again.
What they want to make sure of is that you know the use of it. Credit is given to people who use it responsibly and they know the rules of how they'll now give you more credit. So if you are maxing out a credit card, they're saying, oh, we can't give you more credit. As a matter of fact, we're going to increase your interest rate and decrease your score so nobody else gives you any more credit. So what you want to do is you want to use it and pay on time. And if you can, I encourage you to use your credit. You want me to tell you some ways that you can boost it real quick? I encourage you to use your credit to pay your priority expenses. Remember we talked about that earlier?
Yeah.
If you were going to pay your utility bill, use it on your credit card and take the money that you would have probably done that on your debit card and pay off that credit card before the cycle date, not your due date. You want to pull out that credit card statement and read and say the cycle date, because that's the date that they're going to report it to the credit bureau. So you want to pay it before that date so that when they report it to the credit bureaus, it will show that you paid it off. You also want to think about maybe you can get a secured loan from a credit union. Now this is backing the money you already have in your account, and you get a loan that may match that. As you pay that down, your money becomes back available to you, but it will boost your credit score.
That's right.
Okay? These are ways that you can do it even without going into debt. I believe in building your credit without having to go into additional debt. So I just gave you 2 ways, right? Another way is if you are renting, there are companies out there that will allow you to report your rental payments to the credit bureaus. So this could give you 3 lines of credit, boosting your number without you spending any additional money from your budget. And then now as the score goes up, now you got more income, score is going up. Now you may be ready to say, where am I first going to live? What are my monthly expenses going to be? Now you got this. You're going to be in a habit of, I got to be careful where my money is going because my money should be growing. And when you start to say that, I got to be careful where my money is going because my money should be growing. Then now you're going to start changing the way you feel about money, even including the way you feel about other people who have money, because you're going to say, wait a minute, they were disciplined. They made sacrifices. I'm gonna put some respect on their name. I have a little bit more respect for them because it's not easy to go to the next level, but it's definitely doable. It's definitely possible. So now when you start to be using credit responsibly, Now you can walk in and they can see you have a habit, you're paying your bills on time. You can now extend and maybe say, I want to become a business owner. Remember that little side hustle?
That's
you were
right.
selling some plates. Now maybe you can get a food truck. Or maybe now you can, have someone else and say, you know what? Now I'm expanding. Maybe now you can give someone else a chance and give them a job and pay someone else to help you to expand. You're going to understand that step by step, you can go from nowhere to somewhere when it comes to money. But I want you to know you first have to assess, allocate, and automate. And when you do that, and you begin to say, you know what, my credit is building, my cash flow is building. What do I mean by that? Now you're gonna have more money after you pay your bills.
That's right.
And you're gonna start feeling better. And you're gonna now say, you know what, I wanna do more of this, because now you created a system of it. Dame Munni, there's so much more. I literally have a group in Facebook. I have 105,000 people that we teach tips like this on a day-to-day basis. And
can you send me to your website too?
Absolutely. You can go to successwithnicola.com, but I also want you to go and look me up on Facebook, Nicola Smith Jackson. Nicola Smith Jackson, and I'll add you to my group where you can get your finances lit. You can increase your finances, have a community of people. You're watching people who started from zero. Their credit scores are going up. They're buying cars at 0% interest. That's a good deal. So now they're able to free up more money. They have lower insurance rates. They're buying homes, first-time home buyers. Now then people are getting their second and third homes, and they started off just like you, with nothing, not really much understanding, even afraid of making moves.
Exactly.
And now they're making power moves. We're doing this every day, Dame Munni. So I know it's only a little bit we were able to share while we're together, but I'd love for us to continue the conversation. So
please join Dame Nicola Smith Jackson.
Yes.
And then she will take you from here. If you can ask her any questions you have about finances.
Yes.
So stay tuned for Art for Peace of our channel. My heart to your heart, love and peace, and stay tuned. I'm going to talk a little bit about, on the second episode, what her message is for the African American. As you know, they're suffering a lot right now. It's been a long history, and she's also part of the same community. Look at her, she's gorgeous and beautiful. So my heart to your heart, love and peace.
Yes.